What to do if your driver is a road rager. Welcome to episode 45 of Throwing Your Parents Under the Bus. And I'm Jane Ubel, and with me, of course, is the usual suspects, veteran crash investigator and driver safety expert Mike Pehl. How you doing today, Mike?
I am good. I'm excited.
All right. Well, that's great. Well, and of course, we have the keeper of our student observations, Natasha Johnson. And I know, how are you doing? I don't.
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, good. Well, we're going to start off with asking you to tell us the response from a brave and honest student.
Yes. So Ava starts off by saying, I have to say it's not from a while ago, but my dad's quite the road rager. When I went to stay with him last Christmas, there was a guy that was also road raging. So when you put up a road rager against another one, it's just a catastrophe. I got scared because he just slammed on the gas and started yelling and flipping him off. If they both weren't angry, you would honestly think they were probably racing, which is insane.
That is scary.
That is
Wow.
scary, yes.
Wow. Merry Christmas.
Well,
So yes, I think this statistic is road rage is up like 148% or something, that people are just too stressed out. They can't control their emotions. You know, I'm going way back into the 70s. We didn't have all these drugs to try and control people. All of a sudden, we seem to have all these drugs to control people, and I actually think it's worse. So, but anyway, road rage is a bad, bad thing. And anybody out there that even gets mad at another driver and you even want to give them any kind of even a thumbs up gesture or whatever, they want that. They want the fight. They want you to come into round number one, and it's going to be vicious. And you're probably not going to win. And if you do win, you are probably not going to be scarless, we'll just say. Listen, people, we have a lot of tightly wound psychotics that have driver's license, and they also ride in cars with that road rager you want to jump in with. And you know what? People carry guns now. You don't know what their mindset is. Are you willing to take a guess or gamble with your life based on what's in that car beside you just because you got a little upset at what they did? I'm going to say not a great idea. I'm going to say I'm not a scholar, but I'm going to say any scholar in this world would say, run, get away. Okay. So no, 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 no. You are messing with something you don't want to mess with anymore. I don't care how big you are or tough you are. I used to tell my son, who's a big guy, thinks he's a tough guy. I used to say, you know what? I don't care how many karate moves you know and MMA stuff you can do. When somebody pulls a gun out and shoots you in the forehead, it's over. Guess what? You didn't know anything. The number one thing you should have known about fighting or whatever, should have not got involved.
hey, Mike, you have that story I know about that woman, remember, that was driving the two women to school? And the one woman, okay, and the one woman pulled out a gun and shot the other lady.
Oh, yes,
Remember
yes.
that?
Yeah,
And
we
so
actually,
that's just
yeah,
crazy.
actually, we that was on like 2020 or something. Yes, I remember that. And the one lady's coming home from work, and another lady's coming home from work. One lady starts tailgating the other lady. She's throwing stuff out the window to get her to back off. Well, what does that do? The other lady makes it even thinks that now you've invited me into your car, so I'm going to even get closer. And then she starts flashing lights and all that. Well, guess what? Sooner or later, they have to stop at a stoplight. The one lady in front goes running back to the other car. Now you're running back to a car to say, what are you doing on my rear end? You know,
Yes.
well, the lady thinks it's an aggressive that she needs to make a defensive move. She does have a gun in her console. She pulls the gun out, points it out the window, pulls the trigger, kills her dead on the spot. The lady that pulls the trigger ends up getting 14 years. She's got a 15-year-old son. I mean, I think that was on 2020. I think we have that video in our course. I think it's in there someplace. But anyway, um, also northern central Minnesota, a motorcycle and a car gets together a few years back, and they're ranting and raving back and forth, and what what I say in my driving school is if you are being followed, the last thing you do is go home because a road rager is going to follow you. And it sounds like this story that this was happening. The road rager is going to follow you, and they're going to try and get your license number. And a lot of people say go to the police station. Well, listen, folks, there's a lot of police stations that don't have police there. Okay, the police are out in the cars. All right. So if you are going to drive someplace, find a hospital, go to the emergency room. There's always a cop with a gun there. Right to the emergency doors. Just go right there. All right. That is your safest place to travel. But you need to call 911. You need to get going on that right off the bat. I have a road rage incident going on. You need to get that license plate number of the car that's doing it. And no, yes, you are going to have to take your eyes off the road, but you're going to need this information because they're going to ask you that. So great idea to have a little pencil, that you don't have to be digging in a glove compartment or something, because you can't take your phone out and take a picture. Well, I'll get a picture of it. I got to call 911, so get 911 and they'll actually advise you. There's usually police within the area, but folks, listen to me. Man, don't engage. Control your emotions. Back off. Just back off. Turn off the road. Let this guy go through the green light. If you give it 1 minute, 60 seconds, you're never going to catch that guy anyway. He's going to be far up in traffic, and you might even come across him and another guy out wailing on each other up the road a little bit. I'm just saying, stay away. Google some of that stuff, you guys, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, there's some vicious, vicious attacks. And it's not just one person. It's, I saw a couple of weeks ago, 3 ladies in a car went back to one lady in a car, and they pulled her out of the car and they're giving her the boots and everything right in the middle, and people around you don't want to help. They don't want to get involved because they don't want to get killed. I don't want your mess. I don't want your dirty laundry. You know what? But it's our human nature wants to go help somebody in need. But man, now we get killed. So you know what?
Right.
Do us all a favor. Be smart.
Well, you could probably, if that was happening and you saw it, call 911 for the person, maybe.
Yes, absolutely.
But not necessarily get so close to it. But that, yeah. Well, that's really scary, I think.
No, I don't know why driving has to be so serious.
Yeah, doesn't matter what country you're in, it's all over. It's a mess. It's a mess. And we're not going to fix it. But we can be, once again, safer, smarter, what?
Drivers.
Okay, so okay, you said one example is to turn off. What if they follow you off the road?
Then don't stop. We do not stop. So you need to look ahead of you and you need to watch where your red lights are, because the last thing you want to do is run up to a red light in cars. So you need to slow that vehicle down and time. A light runs about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. So if I see the light, you can see a traffic light a quarter mile, half a mile up. As you're coming up and the traffic is stopped, don't be afraid to go on that shoulder to make that right turn. You're not going to do things the right way. And if you get a ticket for it, I'll help you with it. I can't guarantee we'll win it, but there's not a judge in the world that is going to issue you a ticket for a road rager that is after you and you do not want to stop. The last thing you want to do is run through a red light. And I'm just saying, when you stop, you become very vulnerable. And don't think that somebody can run up to your car and you got the doors locked and they can't get in. Because there's a tool they got that they can just take and push right there, right on the corner of your driver's window, and they can just shatter the glass. Fire departments have that. Emergency people have that tool. You just press it and boom, the window shatters. One of our other podcasts, we talked about popcorn glass. That's what our side windows are. shatters into little pieces like your little fingernail. So you are not safe in your car. I want you to know that. Keep the car moving until help arrives. Don't go to a gas station because you know what? Nobody wants to help. So now
So
you're in the gas station.
tell me what, as a driver, will instigate that road rager? Am I doing wrong that makes them mad? What are those things we have to really think about?
Okay. So normally, I don't want to say normally, but road raging incident starts when you're in the left lane going too slow and you got a driver in a hurry that comes up behind you. Get out of my way, get out of my way, get out
I'll
of my
go
way.
to the right
Mhm.
anyway.
Or reverse that, you're tailgating a road rager. Okay, you can't go anywhere anyway, and then you flash your lights or you go like this in the windshield. They
I've
see
done
it
that
in the
before.
mirror.
I have too.
Yeah, they saw you in the rear
Whatever.
view. Oh, okay. So you know what? I'm going to go slower now. Well, now that irritates the person, so they're going to get beside you now. And now they're going to start doing the weaves in. They're
Mhm.
going to try and get in front of you and start hitting the brakes.
Mhm.
So when you make a bad turn, you almost sideswipe somebody.
Mhm.
Usually road rage starts because we make a little mistake
Right.
and the other person, man, how
It's a
could
big
you
one.
do something so bad? And it
Yeah.
really
It was
wasn't
the
that bad of a
straw that
thing.
broke the camel's
Yes,
back. It's like,
yes.
that's
Yes.
it.
It's just that. So
Mhm.
there's many things, the wrong turn, the wrong lane, the tailgating, you tailgating, um, you drank some coffee and spilled it, or you didn't go fast enough when the light turned green,
Right. A lot of
anything.
honking.
Yeah, beat honk.
Yes.
It's your turn. Let's go. Wait a minute. I saw it all. You know, it just goes.
Right.
So
But
we
those are good things. And actually, really what it is becoming a smarter, safer driver. Because, for instance, even the distance between cars, I will do that where even in a, where it's rush hour kind of thing, I will stay, like, I try to stay, the 3 feet or more behind, away from them. And then people, of course, cut in there, but then I'll just slow down again so that I'm
And
not
just let them
too
in. Yeah.
close. Yeah.
I
And
just
just
thought of
say,
a
just
million
let them
dollar.
in.
I just thought of a
Yes.
$1 million idea. We got to make, those little sticks that you got a face on somebody's face at a baseball event or football or whatever.
Right. Yes.
Here in your car, start carrying a "I'm sorry, God bless" with a big smiley face. You just hold that out the window. I made a mistake. No,
Yes.
sorry.
Yes. I'm
Please.
sorry. Forgive
So,
me. Forgive me.
forgive
Yes.
me. Yes. Okay, I will. Normally,
Yes.
they do that because if you did say, "Hey, I'm sorry," that settles them down right off the bat.
Right. Because you can say it's not you I'm pointing at. I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
so sorry.
yeah, I made a
Yes.
mistake.
But we'll work at
So,
on our
so, and most of them go,
sorry,
"Okay, okay,
sorry
good," or you
faces.
know.
All
So
right. Well, that's great. I think that's
Yes.
good for today, huh?
yeah, it
I
looks
think
like
so.
we have fun with this, which we do, but it's a serious thing, man.
It is.
I
Yes.
have got I see so every day you drive, you will see a road rage incident. And now we're
Yeah.
getting our semis that are starting to get it. And now we got some vicious things out there. So, you know,
That's
but
right.
anyway, like I say, Google some of them, you'll be shocked. You won't be a road rager anymore.
Right. Right. Well, I think, as they say, uh, calmer
Calmer,
people.
safer drivers.
Yes. And kind of take a breath. And I think that's a good thing to do. Um,
Breathe because you still can.
yes, that's good.
Yes.
Well, I know we all want to thank Eva for being so brave and
Yes,
honest to
Eva,
tell
Hmm.
thank
us
you. Thank
her
you. Yeah.
story because I don't think she's alone. And it would be
No.
interesting as the passenger, what do you think she could have done? Anything?
Well, you guys know I didn't talk back to my dad, and I could hear what my dad would have probably said is, "Shut up. This isn't your
Yeah.
battle.
Yeah.
Shut up. It
Right.
isn't your battle." So, your parents just say, yeah, I don't know.
It could have maybe raised the bar on
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
if
just
she
say,
said something.
say,
So,
"Dad, is this how you want me to learn how to drive?"
right.
You know, I guess if I was a
I don't
daughter,
want to die.
Yeah, if I was a daughter,
Mhm.
because dads love their daughters, they treat their daughters different than they treat their sons. Let's put it that way. Our daughters are that piece of glass, and our sons can be broken and put back together. I think. I don't know.
They're glued.
But I think if she would have said to her dad, "Dad, what do I do in this situation?"
Yeah. Or I'm
Because
scared.
I'm a girl out here, Dad. And what happens if this guy's after me?
Hmm.
How did I get into this situation? I think Dad
Hmm.
all of a sudden starts thinking about, whoa. Because remember this, when we teach driver's ed, when we get them students in the car, most driving instructors, sorry, parents, we have to change the habits of the parent to
Yeah.
get this kid to be roadworthy for a driver's test and to be accident free, because by riding in the car, they have developed all your emotions,
Bad
feelings on
habits.
how fast you drive and stuff like that. So, you know, sorry.
Right. Well, that's great. And for all of you out there, hopefully you'll stay calm and away from those who are not.
Yes.
Anyway, we want to thank you, for joining us. We truly appreciate it. And we hope that you can share our podcast, not only today's podcast, but we also have our YouTube channel that has hundreds of defensive driving videos on almost any topic. Or you can check out our other podcasts by going to our either youtube.com/drive safe, ride safe 1, the number, not the word. Or you can go to drivesaferidesafe.com/podcast, which will get you to our website as well, which has some great courses and driving lessons that we believe will help you or your teens to become smarter, safer drivers. And of course, give us a shout by emailing us your questions, or if you have stories that you would like to share, we would love it. And you can go to drivesaferidesafe@gmail.com. And of course, this has been episode 45 of Throwing Your Parents Under the Bus podcast. And I'm Jane Ubel, and we want to remind you to
Drive safe.
Ride safe. There it is.
.com.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Stay safe.